They called us weak. They called us soft. They thought war would break us. They were wrong. This is the story of the war that changed everything. The war that showed the galaxy the truth about humans. The war that made even our enemies afraid. And it all began with blood, fire, and tears. The first shot was not a warning. It was a message. The Karak, the strongest empire in the galaxy, sent their war fleets to Earth. They said we were dangerous, unpredictable, too emotional. And that made us a threat. We had just started reaching the stars. We thought the galaxy would welcome us. Instead, they brought war. I was there when the sky burned. Cities fell in hours. Millions died before we even understood why. The Karak did not fight like humans. They did not hate us. They did not even feel anger. To them, this was simple. Remove the threat. Erase the problem. To them, war was not personal. To us, it was everything. We fought back, of course. Not because we thought we could win, but because we refused to kneel. That's the first thing the galaxy never understood about humans. When you try to break us, we fight harder. They had better ships, better weapons, better everything. But we had something they did not. We had each other. Families hid in bunkers, holding each other tight. Soldiers fought with empty guns, using fists and knives when bullets ran out. And everywhere, humans cried. Do you know what the Karak thought when they saw that? They thought tears were a weakness. They did not understand. They would learn. The alien eyes far away on the Karak flagship. An alien watched. His name was Commander Tal. He had led many wars. He had crushed many worlds. But this one felt different. He watched humans fight, even when hope was gone. He saw soldiers stay behind to cover civilians, even when they knew they would die. He saw mothers shield their children with their bodies. And he saw something else. Tears. So many tears. The Karak had no tears. Their species had never needed them. They saw no purpose in pain that you cannot stop. No point in feeling you cannot control. So why? Why did these humans cry even as they fought like demons? Commander Tal wrote in his log, "They are strange. They fight with madness. And when they lose, they weep." Is this weakness or something else? The war dragged on for months. Earth became a graveyard. But still, we did not surrender. Her name was Anna. She was a medic in the ruins of London. Her hands never stopped moving, bandaging wounds, stopping bleeding, holding the dying. She never held a gun, but she saved more lives than any soldier. And then she met him. His name was Rook, a soldier. Tall, strong, covered in scars. He had lost everyone, his family, his home, his whole world. At first, they barely spoke. There was no time for words in war. But every time Rook came back from a mission, she was there, smiling through the dust and blood, patching him up, telling him to eat, telling him to live. In a world of fire, Anna was warmth. And slowly, they found something neither thought was possible anymore. Love. Not the kind in fairy tales. Not soft, sweet love. This was hard love. Love that bleeds and fights and refuses to die. One night, under a broken sky, Rook told her, "If we live through this, I'll marry you. I swear it." She laughed, she cried, and she kissed him. For the first time. For the last time. Because the next day, everything changed. The fall of New York. The Karak launched their final strike, a weapon so powerful it could turn a city into dust in seconds. New York was the target. Rook was sent there. Anna begged him not to go, but he just smiled and said, "If I don't come back, you'd better cry for me." He never did. When the blast hit, the world shook. Millions died in an instant. And Anna, she fell to her knees and screamed. She screamed until her voice broke. She screamed until her tears drowned the dirt. And somewhere, high above, Commander Tal watched a human woman break, and yet still live, still get up, still kept healing others even when her heart was gone. And he wrote in his log, "They are broken, yet they do not stop. They cry, and then they fight again. I do not understand." But the Karak were about to learn what happens when you take everything from humans. You don't break us. You make us unstoppable. The last battle was not in space. It was on Earth, on the ashes of a dead city. The Karak thought we had nothing left. No ships, no armies, no hope. They were wrong, because what we had left was rage. Every man, every woman, every child who could hold a weapon stood ready, not for survival, not for peace, but for vengeance. When the Karak army landed, they expected fear. They found fury. Humans charged with knives when guns ran dry. They bit. They clawed. They fought with bare hands if they had to. And for the first time in history, the Karak felt fear. Tal watched the slaughter. He watched his soldiers fall to creatures who should have surrendered long ago. He saw fire in human eyes, and something inside him broke. He ordered a retreat, not because of tactics, not because of logic, because he realized the truth. We cannot win. Not against this. What was this? Not their weapons, not their numbers. It was something else. Something the Karak could not understand. Humans fight because they love. They fight because they hope. They fight because they cry, and still keep going. That day, the war ended. Not because the humans destroyed the Karak, but because the Karak could not destroy us. After the war years later, Commander Tal stood before the Galactic Council. They asked him why he surrendered. Why did he leave an entire fleet to retreat from a broken world? And he said, "Because I learned the deadliest truth in the galaxy." "What truth?" they asked. And Tal whispered, "Humans cry, and when they cry, they become unstoppable." Anna lived. She never saw Rook again, but every night she looked at the stars and whispered his name. And every time she cried, she remembered what he said, "Cry for me." So she did. And the galaxy learned why humans cry.